Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to break down literally one of the most unpredictable, penalty-ridden, and frankly downright dramatic race weekends in recent MotoGP history. I'm talking about the 2026 Catalan Grand Prix at Montmeló. Honestly, if you thought you knew what was going to happen heading into this weekend, yeah, go ahead and throw that right out the window.
I want to hit you with a number right off the bat, and that number is 3. Why? Because Sunday was just sheer, unadulterated chaos. We literally saw a staggering 3 separate race starts in under half an hour. I mean, just think about the mental toll that takes on these riders, right? Crashes, red flags, and a grid forced into absolute survival mode.
Section 1. The Catalan Grand Prix Chaos.
We had over 104,000 fans packed into the historic Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. They were all expecting a high-speed thriller, but what they actually got was a harrowing war of attrition. Just look at how this played out. Right on lap 1, race leader Pedro Acosta suffers a sudden power loss between turns 9 and 10, and then the nightmare scenario hits on lap 2. Gresini's Alex Marquez has absolutely zero time to react, and he hits Acosta's bike in this terrifying high-speed crash, sending him uncontrollably over the grass. By minute 5, the red flags are out so they can treat Marquez and get him to the hospital. Fast forward to minute 25, and a 12-lap third restart finally gets underway, which is where VR46 Ducati's Fabio Di Giannantonio completely seizes control.
To really grasp the human element behind the visors here, you just have to listen to Fermín Aldeguer. He called the whole thing terrifying, truly horrible. There was a lot of tension in the box. You see those images and you get goosebumps. I think that perfectly captures the surreal, palpable tension hanging in the pit lane during those constant stops and restarts, with everyone just waiting for news on their fellow riders.
Moving on to Section 2. Ducati sweeps the penalty podium.
Because you see, the drama was far from over when the checkered flag dropped. It's wild. When they actually crossed the line, we had Di Giannantonio taking the win, followed by Honda's Joan Mir, and then Aldeguer in third. But then, the hammer dropped. The stewards handed down these absolutely brutal 16-second penalties to 5 different riders, and that included Joan Mir, so the post-penalty result, a complete and total Ducati lockout. Di Giannantonio keeps his win, Aldeguer gets promoted to second, and Pecco Bagnaia is suddenly bumped onto the podium in third.
So, what caused all this? Well, the invisible villain of the weekend was tire pressure. Riding below the minimum threshold totally caught out several top riders who gambled on that 12-lap sprint-style restart. And the FIM stewards? They showed absolutely zero mercy in enforcing those strict rules.
Except, there was a massive twist in the tail. Pecco Bagnaia actually managed to escape that devastating 16-second penalty, and the reason why is pretty crazy. His low pressure was proven to be caused by a leaking wheel rim. That one tiny mechanical grace note totally saved his race, securing him that third-place finish and a really crucial haul of championship points.
All of this resulted in a massive swing in momentum for Ducati. I mean, Fabio Di Giannantonio controlled the race with incredibly consistent pace for his very first win since Qatar back in 2023. Then you've got young Spaniard Fermín Aldeguer clinching this deeply emotional P2 just 1.466 seconds behind, right at his home race. And Bagnaia recovering to P3 after a truly miserable start to the 2026 season where they were honestly just digging up bad records. Factory Ducati is finally back on the box.
Oh, and we absolutely have to mention this fantastic secondary plotline. All that penalty chaos actually promoted crowd favorite Fabio Quartararo to a highly respectable 5th-place finish. The French hero delivered a fantastic ride just across the border in Spain, and it absolutely delighted the massive Catalan crowd who basically adopted him as their own for the weekend.
All right, Section 3, the Aprilia team clash.
So while Ducati was busy celebrating, the temperature over in the Aprilia garage was completely boiling over. Here's exactly what went down. On the disastrous opening lap of the restarted race, right at turn 5, Trackhouse Aprilia's Raul Fernandez goes for a pass on the inside and completely takes out factory star and 2024 world champion Jorge Martin. Both riders just end up completely out of contention, stuck in the gravel.
And the executive anger? It was immediate. Listen to what Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola had to say about it. Both could have done a better job. I think that between Aprilias, we should take a bit more care. You can just feel the intense frustration radiating there. Aprilia currently fields arguably the best package on the grid, so throwing away crucial championship points through friendly fire, yeah, that's a massive blow.
But then, contrast that with Davide Brivio, the Trackhouse team boss. He actually defended his rider, saying, let's say there was a space and Raul tried to overtake, as is legitimate to try. So we essentially have this dramatic he said standoff brewing right within the highest levels of the Aprilia ranks.
The fallout from this clash is just incredibly messy. Jorge Martin suffers a devastating double non-score for the weekend, and tempers flared so hot in the pits that Martin momentarily lost his composure and literally shoved team manager Paulo Bonora, though to be fair, he did apologize later. Look, when you have the best bike on the grid, friendly fire is the ultimate unforced error. So now Aprilia is reportedly considering strict new rules of engagement, meaning factory orders, which really just adds more tension to an already super complicated 2026 rider lineup situation.
Which brings us to Section 4, the championship picture.
So how exactly does this chaotic weekend impact the broader title fight? Well, taking a look at these updated standings, this is where things get really fascinating. Despite finishing P4 and missing the podium in all that chaos, Aprilia's Marco Bezzecchi actually extended his lead at the top of the table to 140 points. Jorge Martin's disastrous crash obviously cost him valuable points, leaving him trailing at 127. Meanwhile, our race winner Di Giannantonio surges up to 116, with Acosta sitting at 92 and Ogura at 76.
When you really look at the point spread, it is undeniably clear just how incredibly tight this fight is. Bezzecchi is absolutely feeling the pressure, but he's holding strong. And Di Giannantonio's breakthrough victory, that has catapulted him right into the thick of the title conversation. We seriously have a legitimate, multi-team, multi-manufacturer dogfight going on at the top right now. Which leaves us with this final, burning question to close out this explainer. With Ducati dramatically rising from the ashes to sweep the podium, and Aprilia actively fighting internally while desperately trying to protect their championship lead, how in the world will these rapidly shifting dynamics play out next time in Mugello? Will Ducati maintain this massive momentum, or is Aprilia going to restore order? Thank you so much for diving into the data with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.